It's been 10 days, but the unbelievable continues to happen in the earthquake-ravaged area of Turkey and Syria. A 17-year-old was pulled from the rubble of a collapsed building yesterday.
And the day before, 9 people, including a 77-year-old, were found alive. There are still recoveries, though. The death toll has now surpassed 41,000 people. Millions, though, survive, but they have no food, no running water, and they are relying on humanitarian aid.
A woman in Denver knows the devastation, desperation, and the struggle that comes after an earthquake strikes. She survived one in Turkey in 1999, and as Jaleesa Rosario reports, the woman is now doing all she can to help others.
Pictures help make the past present, but for Beyhan Maybach, old photos bring new emotions.
Because what people are going through right now is similar to what is in these photographs.
More than 41,000 people have died in recent earthquakes in Syria and Turkey. The images that have been captured feel far too familiar.
We pulled out some bodies from here. I haven't looked at these photographs in 20 years.
Maybach was 29 years old.
That's me right there.
When an earthquake killed nearly 18,000 people in Turkey back in 1999.
We were thrown out of our beds. Even though my parents' building and the buildings around were not damaged, there was a huge destruction. And then you say, this is big, this is huge. Oh my God, help these people.
Maybach connected with the Belgian army and became a translator and guide, pulling bodies and survivors out of the rubble for 4 days.
It reminds me the times. In some way, gives me inspiration and reminds me how people gathered together and supported each other.
On Friday, Maybach hopes to recreate that support, hosting a vigil at Wash Park to honor the victims and connect with others looking to lean on one another.
Even though I'm a scientist, I do believe in prayers.
It's easy to feel isolated in grief, but sometimes it takes focusing on the bigger picture to know no one has to go it alone.
Every little bit helps.
Maybach hopes sharing her story will bring a little more awareness to what is happening overseas. The vigil she is holding tomorrow night will be at 6 p.m. at the southeast corner of Wash Park. She invites anyone and everyone to join.
And we had a lovely visit with Beyhan a few minutes ago, and you get an idea that that Turkish community is very tightly knit, but they're welcoming all.
Mm-hmm. They are welcoming all, but yeah, they are incredibly tightly knit. But one thing she kept saying was she was floored by how great Coloradans have been through this and how giving they have been through this. It's something that she loves to see and never expected to see so much of.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's good that people stepped up. Thank you, Jaleesa. Yesterday's snow and blizzard-like conditions proved to be too much for many drivers in the northwestern part of our state. Cars began stuck on several highways in Moffat County. 19 people had to be rescued. Colorado 318 westbound near Maybell, that's about 30 miles west of Craig, remained closed this afternoon. Same situation on US 40. The Colorado Fire Prevention and Control multi-mission aircraft even had to fly in that area to ensure there weren't any other vehicles.
Well, he sacrificed himself for his handler and partners. Those words today about the Jeffco Sheriff's K-9 Grafit, who was killed in the line of duty this week. Grafit's handler told us today that he was more than just a partner on the job. He was family. Here's 9 News reporter Luis De Leon.
A memorial sends a clear message.
I just know how much he meant to me, but it's unbelievable to know how much he meant to everyone else.
A message that a dog is more than just their title, their family.
The bonding process with him was unbelievable. I don't think people really understand how that works.
Jeffco Sheriff's Deputy and K-9 handler Zachary Oliver, joined by his wife Alicia, reflect on Grafit's life off duty.
He was full of energy. He was nonstop running around. He loved nothing more in life than his Kong. When he was at the house, he was just a house dog that was running around 50 miles per hour. He was truly part of the family. My 4-year-old daughter and my 11-year-old would both say that it's their police dog too.
Oliver was the 10-year-old German Shepherd's handler.
He just turned 10 years old, which is absolutely unbelievable because even the vet asked if he was about 5.
Speaking not only on what Grafit did for the department, but their ultimate sacrifice. Grafit was helping police search for a suspect this week that prompted a shelter-in-place order at the Colorado School of Mines. Police say that suspect shot and killed Graffiti. The suspect was arrested.
And it's my whole department's partner. He's been on calls for many of us. And he sacrificed himself so that me and my partners didn't get killed.
Oliver hopes to honor the dog that not only was a member of the department, but a member of the family.
It's very unfortunate what happened to Graffiti, but in all honesty, it shows me how important the work that I'm doing with these dogs and that all these handlers do with these dogs is. And I don't think I could ever have it any other way.
Now, Oliver, you heard from there, as well as the K-9 trainer with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, also expressed their advocacy for stronger punishment for suspects that kill K-9 units, police dogs, in the line of duty. Tom, our legal expert Scott Robinson told us this week that right now the suspect could face aggravated cruelty to animals, which is a Class 6 felony, up to 3 years in prison. That's the harder punishment as well.
Well, like so many, we all say our prayers and thanks to Graffiti.
You can see the impact they left behind for sure.
Thanks, Luis.
Tonight I'm running for Felon Officer Julian Becerra. He worked for the Fountain Police Department in Colorado, and his end of watch was February 11th, 2023.
And then he runs a mile. This after a first responder in the United States dies on duty. And this week, this Florida teenager named Zechariah shared him running his 1,449th mile on social media, this time, as he said, in honor of Officer Becerra from Fountain. Becerra died after falling off a bridge while chasing a carjacking suspect. Zechariah also started a fundraiser for the officer's family on the Facebook page of his nonprofit called Running for Heroes.
The stage is set, and tonight 13 of the 17 candidates vying to be Denver's next mayor are preparing to discuss the biggest issues affecting the Mile High City and down the road. You can watch tonight from 7 to 9 on Channel 20, and it will stream on 9 News Plus. Kyle Clark will be moderating that debate and managing a very big debate stage. Keeping everybody's name straight, Kyle.
Yeah, 13 people. The good news is we've met most of them before tonight, Kim. What's happening in this open mayoral race in Denver is really interesting. The race is almost certainly headed to a runoff because nobody's going to get 50%. But the fact is the people who get the most and the second most amount of votes still likely will be voted against by the vast majority of people who cast votes. And then they are going to have to coalesce a broader coalition to win in the runoff. So while everybody watching at home and voting in Denver should be picking their favorite candidate, you also need to be thinking about your second favorite candidate or your third or even your fourth favorite candidate, because that's what might happen in a runoff situation with so many strong candidates in the race. 13 to the 17 will be on this stage at the King Center at MSU Denver tonight. Another unusual thing about this race compared to so many that we cover is that there's not a lot of disagreement about the big issues. They just disagree on how to deal with them. I want to bring in one of our fellow moderators tonight, Anusha Roy. So all the candidates in the race basically agree. We are talking about homelessness, we are talking about crime, and we are talking about affordability and housing. And it really seems like the city's homelessness crisis looms largest of all.
Yeah, and you know, I had a chance to talk with Kathy Alderman, who's with the Homeless Coalition, about what she's really looking for in that next mayor. And what's very important to her is that she doesn't want to see candidates conflating issues. You know, we know that people who are experiencing homelessness are also living with mental health issues. They're dealing with addiction. Some have a criminal past, but she said it's not everyone. And if candidates start generalizing it, that's going to be a problem, because how do you come up with a good plan if you're not respecting and recognizing people's individual stories? The other thing she said that really stood out to me was that she's really hoping people don't waste time picking apart and criticizing the city versus figuring out what's working, what's not, and the parts that are working, and then scaling it up. She goes, we haven't been able to do that properly yet, and that's going to be a critical next step. So that's what she's watching for.
And there's going to be a wide variety of life experiences on this stage behind us tonight, and a wide variety of political experience on the stage. Some folks who have really had their hands on this problem, for better or for worse, and some who are just beginning to tackle it. So that's 7 o'clock tonight on KTVD and 9 News Plus. 13 candidates debate for mayor of Denver.
Well, many of us have not met certain members of this group, and others are really familiar, so we're looking forward to it. So have some fun, drink a lot of water, get ready. Thanks.